welcome to Holocron Entries Explosion Network's Star Wars podcast, where today we're diving into the Mandalorian's movie special, I guess.
Movie.
I don't know. Something like that. We are here to talk about and discuss in full spoiler fashion the Mandalorian and Grogu, as the title card likes to do with a ... And Grogu. My name's Blight, and joining me to discuss the film, Ashley Hopley.
I'm excited to be here to talk about Jin and Baby Yoda.
Yep.
Or as your mum calls it, Pedro, Pascal, and Baby Yoda. The collective mum.
Yeah. Even though Grogu's now on the poster, Baby Yoda.
His name's on the poster, yeah.
Yeah, still Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
So the Mandalorian Grogu, you came out today as of recording, 21st, Australia. Directed by Jon Favreau. It was written by Jon Favreau alongside Dave Filoni and Noah Kloor. Of course, stars Pedro Pascal as the titular Mandalorian, but also Jeremy Allen White, Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder, and Sigourney Weaver. Ash, you've watched it a couple of days ago, so you've had a bit more time to sit on it, whereas I've jumped straight into this fresh out of the cinema. So you can go for it first. What are your thoughts on The Mandalorian and Grogu? Our first Star Wars film in cinemas since The Rise of Skywalker.
Since we nearly all died in a pandemic,
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think throughout this movie, I constantly had the feeling that this was originally written as another season of The Mandalorian. And I feel like the only reason it's a movie is because there is a sense of scale. And, scale and, the story kind of dictated it needing to be, not the story, like what they wanted to do in this season, I don't think they could have achieved on television in the volume. They needed big sets, big scenes and that kind of stuff, and then they moved it to being a film. But I feel like as I was watching the movie, I could see like the pieces that were sewn together of another season of The Mandalorian, which was kind of distracting. I think, and scale wise, I think it justifies it being a movie and taking our money, just because those are big sets, there's big action set pieces and that kind of stuff on the scale bigger than the TV show ever did. But I don't feel like we learned anything new or moved the story of Mandalorian and Grogu anywhere, really, at the end of this. At the end of the film, we're back to pretty much where we started, where Jin is continuing to teach Grogu the ways. There are some fun bits. There was a lot of awing and ahhing over Grogu throughout this film, and I think this film also solidifies that the Anzellans are the best thing to come out of Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, there's so many. There's a lot of nitpicks you can have about this movie. I think that just kind of drags it down to just being an alright film. What are your feelings coming straight out of it?
I think the first thing, just quickly, Jon Favreau said in interviews, whether or not he's telling the truth or not, that the original scripts or whatever he'd begun writing for the next season of The Mandalorian, he threw out because he had to start again and write it fresh as a feature film. But I would agree, it does feel like just 4 episodes of the TV show sort of combined into one. And if I believe him in that it wasn't a rework of script ideas, it may be the problem of you've wrote this character and these characters in a certain fashion for so long, and then even involve Dave Filoni. Like, these are all people used to writing TV, and even if it wasn't a rework of TV scripts, it's then suddenly they fall into trappings of writing it like it's a TV. Yep. The beats like it is several episodes of the TV show and sort of spacing them together. So, I think my thing with this is it's hard not to think about it in 2 ways, which is I'm trying to think about it just as a film on its own, or three ways really: a film on its own, a Star Wars film, and then also the first Star Wars film that we've had since the Rise of Skywalker. And that last one in particular just leaves such a big disappointment. You know,
I don't know. Is this better than Rise of Skywalker?
I'm going to go ahead and say now, I think this is worse than the Rise of Skywalker. Which my problem is, and
I did not have the sinking hole in my stomach.
But
coming out of that movie.
I'd put it this way. Obviously we're quite outspoken. Really didn't like the Rise of Skywalker. I think the Rise of Skywalker is a better made film than this. I think that film is and continues to be just a completely misguided misstep as far as its narrative goes, and is a bigger disappointment where it sits as the conclusion of the sequel trilogy. But I think if I was to compare them just solely trying to take all of that aside, I would say that this is a worse film, just treating it film to film. Like, there's definitely more character work. You can't say there's not more character work in The Rise of Skywalker. You can't say there's not better writing and, general writing outside of the obvious complaints that we have about its plot. And stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know well, I kind of do. I guess they set out to make a pulp adventure, which, I mean, to a degree is what the Mandalorian TV show was. And, like, let's just do that on the big screen. Here's a low stakes, and they are quite low stakes adventure. Make it plenty of action scenes and whatnot, and we'll just do big action on the big screen. We're not going for trying to reignite the Star Wars fan base with this one. Maybe that's what the I forget what the movie's in. It's called now, mental, but the Ryan Gosling one, the Starfighter. Yes, thank you. Maybe that. I mean, that's obviously sounding more and more like the potential reignite the fan base and get a lot more into it. And if this is just meant to be a soft treading point back into the cinemas, get Star Wars back into people's minds a bit more, because I don't feel like they're heavily crazy. I mean, it's been a while. Because this is, I don't feel like they marketed this super heavy or anything. Like, it's sort of just, it's very soft, I feel, as far as.
What was your cinema like? Obviously, I was at a preview screening, so
it was packed. Yeah, cool. Say 40% maybe.
Okay.
Opening night. Still a few people dressed up in cosplay and whatnot as typical sort of stuff, but I'd say 40%, which is the less than your usual Star Wars opening night.
See, I would have been curious to go to midnight screening.
That would have been interesting,
or at least see. I should have checked tickets to see what the cinema was looking like right before the movie started. But yeah,
I think that as far as it just as a film goes, there's no character work here for any of our main characters at all. I think the best we get is Grogu when he saves Mando. Like, shows him.
I mean, that's arguably the best segment of the film.
Yeah,
the mostly dialogue-free segment where Pedro Jin is poisoned, and Grogu kind of has to fend for them himself. That's probably the most interesting segment.
Yeah, shows
which
him,
would have made an excellent episode of
yeah, and it would have been a whole episode.
Yeah.
But like that, I think Rodder is the only other interesting character, generally interesting character within the film. I think all of the villains and everyone else is completely forgettable. And I mean, and all in all, I think the film is utterly forgettable. Like, most people are going to walk out of this and forget this in 24, 48 hours. I think majority of people.
I feel like most people are just going to merge with the rest of the TV show, and they're going to all the pieces will be stuck together, and it's just another part of that. But yeah, I mean, it's fine as a pulpy adventure. Like, the thing that I was thinking of is like Roger Moore era James Bond, those kind of movies. That's what this feels like, and that's not really what we want from our Star Wars, I guess, now, or like from our films in general. I feel like nowadays you don't just want to go see a thing at the cinema. You want to have an actual life-affecting experience.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm just being too
picky.
It's hard not to be too picky or whatever. And I'm going to say the A word. And by that, I mean, I'm going to say Andor. Because the problem with Star Wars, and the problem I'm going to have with probably anything Star Wars from now on,
is the bar.
At least in the bar is so high. But the other problem is that Star Wars. I've probably talked about this before, and I don't remember. I've talked about Star Wars so much I can never forget what I've been over. The Star Wars, from its inception, is this good versus bad, projected as this pulpy adventure, but with deep undertows of, political ties to Vietnam War and all these other elements and stuff. And Star Wars is a inherently political franchise, or whatever. It sounds weird to say franchise, but story, of good versus evil sort of thing. And I think given the world currently, and coming off Andor, which did such a sensational job of telling a story that felt up until those, right up until the end in those last couple episodes, felt so inherently of this time. And then sitting down to watch a Star Wars movie that just feels so void of anything that matters is also weird, especially considering it's like the story begins straight away with the hints of, it's like the hidden Empire people, long live the Empire and all this. There's all those seeds, but the seeds are completely sproutless and meaningless to do anything. I mean, the New Republic's heavily involved in this film, of course. Jin's working for the New Republic. There's like all these elements. None of it matters. None of it has any ultimately there is it wouldn't take much to do something a bit more that's like, yes, evil can be squashed, but there's always outliers. There's always people trying to, I mean, I can't help but just be like, we live in a world where there's literally people going around at Nazi marches now and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like the outwards. So yeah, no, mate, I think maybe that is the Andor effect of being like, I'm well aware that Star Wars can do it and missing it from here. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll use your favorite term, which is, let's use the number one movie reference point, Wikipedia. What do you say? The number one movie
and TV resource.
Number one movie TV resource, Wikipedia, to sort of run through the plot here, because Wikipedia was the only place I could find that had a plot run through.
Them nerds, they'll give you
straight
the full
onto
plot.
it. Yep, straight onto it. Couldn't even find it. I went to Star Wars Wiki first, assuming they might have something.
Wikipedia? Yeah.
Nope.
They're very slow over there.
They're slow. So straight to Wikipedia.
I always go there after, like, when we're doing more. I'm like, oh, they'll have some stuff now.
No, terrible. What are we doing? Okay, so the bounty hunter Din Djarin.
They vet their things too much. You know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah. Wikipedia, not so much, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You can quickly tell if something's completely wrong. Yeah. Just watched it. The bounty hunter Din Djarin, also known as the Mandalorian, and his foundling Grogu work for the New Republic to hunt down Imperial warlords. Hold on, pause. I just want to read. Mm-hmm. Oh, do they have it here? No, hold on. They don't have it here, but I did see it on. I did see they had that on Wikipedia, I believe. Sorry, pause 2 seconds. Yes, so the opening crawl they had on Wikipedia. Good on them. They had one thing. Mm-hmm. So the opening crawl, which this film still kept, is the evil galactic empire has fallen. Ex-Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy, plotting the Empire's return. The fledgling New Republic has begun to reunite the galaxy. In the lawless Outer Rim, the Mandalorian and his young apprentice Grogu work to hunt down these Imperial fugitives. Mm-hmm. Yep, fine. Whatever. Actually, to get that out of the way, the film has an opening crawl and then does an opening credit sequence. What do you think of that before I continue? Because that's weird to see for Star Wars.
I thought it was nicely put together. I mean, the opening credits is not till like their return. No,
it's after the Hoth stuff.
After the Hoth, yeah, or the Snow Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
it's been confirmed to be Hoth. So
it's confirmed to be Hoth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can only be one snow planet in
yeah,
Star Wars.
correct. Yeah, correct.
No, I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool and like obviously set the mood and obviously we'll say Ludwig did a good job. Did a great job remixing his soundtrack to all these different genres. Especially like the techno version of
the techno
thing.
version. Yes, I agree. The music is good. Music is a standout.
I don't know if you sat through all the way through the end of the credits.
I did not.
He mixes it up. There's some salsa and
he's at home just
a few other versions of the theme.
Yeah, I didn't mind that in the credits. I thought it fit this series and characters and everything, like especially because it's playing as they're like flying back over the ships and whatever. I don't know, almost Top Gunny feel to that in the credits. Somewhat, I don't know, just because maybe because of the ships or something. But anyway, after a successful mission, all right, so we're skipping past the whole stuff. Anyway, so the opening whole scene, which is just an episode of the show, is him completing a mission for the New Republic, tracking down a guy, whatever else. Yes, Jon Favreau or someone, I can't remember which one of them. Anyway, it's been confirmed it is Hoth because apparently there is only one snow planet. It was fine. It was sort of action-packed. It was a bit of fun. My biggest problem with the whole thing is, especially once they get to the AT-ATs, whatever the fuck nerds, then it just made me keep thinking about Solo and the train sequence, because that is on a snow planet, and how much more exciting that sequence is in that film that everyone talks about and hates, but is actually a lot better than people give it credit for, and definitely a lot better than this film, to be honest. So I just kept thinking about that the whole time. And then I kept thinking more about the opening once I reached the end of the film, because I also think the film's way too long and how maybe we didn't need any of that. It's about 15 minutes at the start. And look, the Wikipedia article just skips it. After a successful mission, it is literally 15 minutes boiled down to 4 words. They don't even bother explaining it.
Yeah. I'm curious. Like, I feel it's been mentioned by Favreau, I believe, that this is a film that he believes newcomers could come to, and not having to watch it on Mandalorian. And I feel like setting up the dynamic of the Mandalorian, showcasing all his powers or like weapons in this first segment and his relationship with Grogu.
I can sort of answer this. I watched the movie with someone who knows fuck all about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Doesn't watch a lot of movies either, to be honest. And they said that didn't understand why we needed that whole opening sequence.
Okay. I feel like for general people though.
So maybe, but that's the only test audience I can.
Did they just repeat what you said, or they come to that by their end?
Buzz up! I didn't say anything. I didn't give anything.
I thought it was fine, and then because
I know this is the other thing. Obviously, I try to like self-contain myself a bit, because whenever normal people ask what I think about a movie, and I'm just going to be way too critical and potentially crush their
dreams.
Yeah, so I just sort of calm it down.
Go first. Yeah.
Yep, let them go first.
Man, this would have been a great premiere episode.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, after a successful mission, Djarin is tasked by New Republic Commander Ward, Sigourney Weaver, to find the mysterious warlord Coyne. The New Republic has been provided intel on his whereabouts by the Hutt twins, siblings and successors to deceased crime lord Jabba, but only in exchange for rescuing Jabba's son and heir Rotta from a crime syndicate run by Lord Janu. Djarin receives a new Razorcrest ship as a prepayment. What do you think of them just being like, let's get the proper ship back? Done, dusted.
I think they wrote themselves into a corner. They realized they couldn't do this movie in the Naboo ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rudder wouldn't fit in that ship.
No, he wouldn't.
Turns out to be a bounty hunter, sometimes you need to capture people. In that case, you need like space.
That was the problem, I guess, as the show continued. It's like he was doing less bounty hunting and having that ship work.
most of the previous season was the fight for Mandalore, or getting Bo-Katan into power or whatever.
Yeah,
at least that's how I remember it.
Yeah, that's roughly
So I mean, it's cool that they brought the ship back. You know, they probably could have they could have had a new type of ship, but I guess you can resell all the Legos that you.
It looks different enough, but the problem is it looks different. So it's new merch. It's not reselling. It's new merch.
The Razor Crest 2.
Yeah. Then now they get to have people are going to have 2 Legos: Razor Crest TV version, Razor Crest movie version, Razor Crest the Mandalorian and Grogu version. Yeah.
Yes.
Djarin reluctantly accepts the assignment and finds Rodder on the planet Shakari, where he serves as a gladiator in a fighting pit owned by Janu. Rodder, desperate to step out of his father's shadow, enjoys his status as a fan favorite fighter and refuses to be rescued by Djarin, arguing that his next fight will repay his debt to Janu and set him free no matter what Djarin tracks down. No matter what. So what? I generally thought Rodder was very interesting. I found Jeremy Allen White's performance to be good. My only problem is that I hated the CGI character. But in general, I thought the CGI is obviously a lot in this movie, and I'd say in general, I think the CGI makes the film look ugly at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially the film, it looks good quite a lot. You know, I was watching that opening scene. I was like, man, these are really good production design here. There's a lot of snow in this corridor as like sort of the road, you know, little mouse droid things, whatever it is, going through. Like any of the real production stuff looks good. And then nearly every other scene is ruined with some CGI creatures that just don't look good enough to be here.
The creature design in this movie is middling.
Yeah. And I just can't help.
Pretty generic, pulled straight from Unity.
Yeah.
Just stock.
Yeah.
Creatures.
Yeah. So even when it's like Rodder shows up and he's talking and he's, you know, saying about how he wants to step out of his father's shadow and he's nothing like his father and he's feeding Grogu and it's all very nice. And I'm generally like, this is an interesting character because the last time I saw this character, Rodder the Hutt, he was that baby that Djarin got showed the picture of, which was a funny little thing. Because the other funny thing is actually, so
is he in? Is he the one from Bad Batch?
Yeah, he's in the Bad Batch as well.
Yeah.
So he's in the Bad Batch, but his first appearance is the Clone Wars movie. Like the before the TV show, the shitty movie that did, which was written by Dave Filoni, of course, and directed by Dave Filoni. And then Dave Filoni co-wrote this. So we end up with Rodder. However, so in the last time you see Rodder, he was this little tiny baby or child that you see, and that. So here, I mean, in general, I'll say that Rodder is generally, I think, a highlight of the film. You're used to seeing nothing but Hutts being written as one-dimensional characters, these cartel figures that are inherently evil. So it's nice to add a little bit of difference to that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he clearly completely flips the Hutt stereotype within the world. He's not gluttonous. He's not evil. He can fight. Like this shows how a Hutt could actually be a threat. And I think the way that they choreograph his fighting, I think, is quite interesting. Of like, how do we make this slug-like creature that doesn't have legs move around? It's like he rolls around. Lots of jumping and body drops.
I mean, that's the
body slams. Sorry.
I mean, generally props to them because, you know, Jabba the Hutt's created as this, you know, very inspired slug-like creature, and he was inspired to do nothing but pretty much sit because he's a slug and not move.
Well, I'm sure there was also practical reasons.
Well, probably. But I mean, also the thing is, Jabba the Hutt in the original version of Star Wars was a person, not a creature, which is, and again, just that whole funny. There's that scene where they had to when they CGI'd in Jabba the Hutt and replaced him in the original Star Wars New Hope, and then that's why they have that scene where Weirdly Han like steps on his tail. And they have to have Jabba do like response because he doesn't step large enough because obviously it was a human. Like there was just a gangster do. Yeah. Anyway, funny little Star Wars trivia.
I will say, don't know if it needed to be Djarin White. I don't know. And I don't think if you gave somebody who didn't know it was Jeremy Allen White $1 million, they'd be able to guess it's Jeremy.
No, but I think I don't think it needs to be him either. But I do think they just wanted to cast someone of note because the film doesn't have the film, as much as there's Pedro Pascal on the poster, the film doesn't have enough. His face is seen once, obviously, but without that, maybe they were like, we need to add a bit more to the cast. And again, he's not a human body, but at least like let's get some names that can draw people in a bit more of interest. I mean, even Sigourney Weaver probably got paid a shit ton to do 10 minutes of work, so
it's fair.
Fucking Martin Scorsese gets opening credit name.
He does get credits, so that shot was very amusing.
Yeah. It's like
and
starring.
He's an enjoyable little part.
Yeah, starring Martin Scorsese. Yeah, it's fun. Djarin tracks down Jonny to buy Rodder's freedom, but Jonny refuses, revealing that he intends for Rodder's final fight to kill him. Djarin returns to Rodder with this new information, but Rodder refuses to believe him, instead calling on security. Djarin is subdued and forced to fight Rodder in the arena. He defeats Rodder, but surrenders rather than killing him. Jonny floods the arena with monsters, which forces Djarin and Rodder to work together to beat them. Rodder eventually breaks the security systems of the arena, setting the monsters free and escaping. Djarin and Grogu pursue and capture Rodder with the help of Zeb or Relius.
Oh yeah, Zeb was here the entire time.
Yeah.
The movie seems to forget he's here for large portions.
He's always sitting at the outskirts somewhere doing something. Yeah.
Like, especially when they're flying the ship, like, Mando's up in the controls and Zeb's just somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Literally just off screen. It's like literally like a video game when the character always just drop off the protagonist and be like, all right, yeah, I'll fly around. You do it. And it's like, you got to do the whole mission by yourself. And then right at the end, they fly back in. They're like, man, you jump in.
Again, it feels like the television show, like, we'll just save budget and not have him in any of these scenes. And then he'll just pop up like he's been there the entire time later. Don't have to do any of these special effects, yeah.
Well, no, there's 165 million apparently the budget according to Wikipedia, but which is low, obviously, for a movie that features quite a lot of CGI in a world in which Disney
they saved all the money on casting.
Yeah, casting, and then Disney got 4 people to do the special effects after firing all of them. Well, so it seems, because that arena fight was terrible. All those monsters, I know we just said it.
Yeah, they were pretty generic looking.
Generic, and they just didn't look good.
You couldn't pull something from Star Wars history?
He literally goes...
Sure, it doesn't need to be a freaking Rancor, but,
No, but Coyne goes, I've been gathering the most dangerous monsters from across the galaxy or whatever he says. And I'm like, okay, well, we know Rancor has to be one. Because we've been told that is one.
No.
For a franchise and series that's quite happy to just lean on nostalgia and reuse shit quite often, they're like, no Rancor on this. We're just going to go random.
You could have just pulled some random stuff from your Clone Wars or...
So, I don't know. Nothing I recognize, but I mean, someone's going to be like, nah, that thing was in Clone Wars Season 3, Episode 16. Cool.
Maybe.
Cool story, dude. So I didn't particularly like the fight. There was just so much... Just so
the only interesting stuff was seeing Rodder, fighting. Just just showcasing what makes a threat, a physical threat.
Just body slam people. And then the escape. Kind of like, I think if it looked better, I might have enjoyed it a bit more. But even when they're flying past the monsters, I was just still like, it was just bothering me that CGI didn't look good. But there was an element I'm like, this whole sequence could have been a lot more fun. Monsters escaping into the city, sort of Godzilla, King Kong shit. I don't know, like that sort of kaiju stuff. Anyway,
also, we skipped over the meeting thing where he goes into the pet place. It's very weird. The thing about salt is really valuable on this planet. We ration it. So this salt is worth a lot of money. I feel like someone would have exploited that by this point. Someone on a not salt planet would be smuggling salt in.
I mean, I assume he is, right? I don't know. Is that not what?
I know. I didn't get the impression he was.
Also, is it salt, or is it? Or are you assuming it's like salt, a special kind of salt?
I think it's like blocks of salt, clearly.
Yeah, but don't know.
It's just a very weird, unnecessary thing to in the middle of the film as well.
A captured Rodder claims that the twins only want him so they can kill him and take over the Hutt cartel, because he's the heir to the.
Because he wants to. He doesn't want to be like his dad.
He doesn't want to be like his dad, but he is. But he is the heir to the.
I don't want to
be throne. Yeah. He also confirms Djarin that Janu and Coyne are the same person. Djarin chooses to trust him and attacks Janu's compound alongside Zeb, capturing Janu. I'll say the escape sequence was fun, just because of Grogu not knowing how to fire up the ship and just being like, fuck it, I'm just going to press, even after being told not to press the missile button with the safety clap after it, goes, you know what? Fuck it, let's try the other one. That was a bit of fun. I enjoyed that. And then Zeb being like, I don't think he understands or knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't. He's just a baby. Baby doesn't know what he's doing at all. They bring him back to Ward, who takes him in for questioning, but warns that the twins won't take kindly to Djarin breaking his promise to deliver Rodder to them. Insert mid-season break. I mean, yeah. Djarin returns to Navarro with Grogu, enlisting a band of Anzelians to modify the Razor Crest and helping Rodder to go into hiding with a gunrunner. At night, Djarin is attacked and captured by the bounty hunter Embo, who delivers him to the twins at Nal Hutta. Grogu and the Anzelians follow. Embo is a character from the Clone Wars as well.
Okay, yeah.
He is a bounty hunter seen in the Clone Wars, so we're continuing to slowly see every animated character brought to life.
Every action. Animated bounty hunter.
Yeah, CGI character anyway, but live action, live action film. I don't know. Is there anything of note here? I mean, there was sort of funny that the Rodder and Jin talking with Grogu, scaring the, or not being the smallest person anymore was kind of funny, and him being up there and being like, I want to go play with them. It's kind of fun, but
Rodder raiding the fridge or pantry.
Yeah, even Rodder and Grogu playing on the beach was kind of nice. That was a nice sequence.
Yeah, the relationship between Rodder and Grogu is quite right from when he starts feeding him straight away. So like, they've got some sort of interesting connection. Also, this scene made me sad that we don't have Carl Weathers anymore. So sure he would have popped up right here.
I haven't double fact checked this, but I saw briefly when I had a quick look on Reddit as I was walking out of the movies. Apparently, I can't remember where they said it was, either on the outside of a bar or the door at Navarro or something like that. There's something written in oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. Star Wars language. Orbrish, I think is the Star Wars language. Orbrish. That says something like something about Carl Weathers is written there. Okay. So they have a little Easter egg moment in there for Carl Weathers. Yeah. Apparently, again, I didn't fact check it. But.
Also established, he's still got the Naboo fighter.
Yes. The twins are revealed to have intercepted Rodder, intending to slowly torture him for hundreds of years. To punish Djarin for breaking his contract, they force him to fight a dragon snake. Djarin escapes with the help of Grogu and the Anzellans, but is mortally poisoned in the process. Unable to fit aboard the small Anzellan ship, Djarin stays behind on Nal Hutta, sacrificing himself to cover Grogu and the Anzellans' escape. Grogu also chooses to stay behind, tending to the dying Djarin. I'll pause it there. But yeah, so this sequence, as we said, the sort of everything, the whole time, Grogu is going to come back. Like, even though you see him walking towards the ship, he's going to come back. But I did like the sequence of, especially with the way the music was playing, like more somber music was sort of playing as Din's running through the forest and shooting everyone or whatever. They're not playing like fast paced. It's sort of like that whole one last stand music.
Well, he's going to the ship that he can't fit on.
Yeah.
Which,
but it did make for a funny little Grogu being like,
come on, get in.
Come on, get in. Get in, bro. What are we doing? Have a good time. Yeah, so he's poisoned and then he obviously he's down. So Grogu uses his powers, which I honestly can't remember. Have we seen him use his healing powers since season 1?
He was the first one to heal. Remember?
Yeah, but in season 1,
they released the first episode of season 1 before
Rise of Skywalker.
Before Rise of Skywalker, where Rey does it.
Yeah.
Like they released it before, so they'll get in first.
Yeah. But
from memory.
Has he done it since? I can't remember.
I think so. To somebody else.
Did he? Okay, I can't remember.
To another main character.
The only thing I'll say is I recall, not to jump ahead a little bit, but I do feel like Grogu is sort of his power influx, whatever we want to call it.
Listen, Grogu is a classic Mary Sue, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. To a degree, yes. Because in the show, every time
more angry about his powers and how quickly he's gotten them.
In the show, every time he does anything slightly with the Force, it drains him completely, and he finds it so hard. And I mean, he just uses so much so quickly in this for such an half-trained small child. Mm-hmm. Yoda struggled more to get an X-wing out of Dagobah's swamp. You know what I mean? And I understand he was disconnected from the Force, but I'm like, was Yoda
from the Force? He was nearly dead.
Yeah, but I mean,
died not long after that.
Is Grogu that connected to the Force? I don't know. Yeah. Then when we get the sequence we talked about before, obviously Grogu going around. The funniest part of which, and the funniest part in the movie, is just when he builds that little hut and then just Force pushes Mando's head backwards and forwards, bang, 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 before silence.
It doesn't completely fit,
It doesn't completely fit, and it doesn't accept it the first, second, third, or fourth time until eventually he's like, got to cover his legs for leaves. I'm not good at spatial awareness.
First time he's covered the body with leaves was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then, that was the thing that got the biggest laugh in the film.
Yeah, I think mine too, yeah. But that whole sequence is great. The little interaction with the swamp settler, I don't know, whatever we're calling that. Gives him the fish and
I'm getting eaten by a frog. Sweet revenge for frogs.
Yeah, little jump scare moment. So eventually saving his life using antidote he receives from a friendly fisherman. A recovered Djarin chooses to go after the twins instead of fleeing. They'll had out reasoning that the twins won't ever stop chasing him and Grogu. So they do go find the ship that is sort of sitting there, the ones that intercepted Brodder, and he quickly fights a couple of people in there. Again, just scenes that there's lots of so many little small bits and scenes and stuff when I do feel the film is too long that I'm like, did we need that? Could we have not just decided at the campsite? You know, are we going to do this? Are we going to go look for a way out? Like, he went look for a way out, then had the conversation. We could have just been like, hey, now that I'm awake, what do you want to do? Do you want to go on the run? Should we stand and fight?
Anyway, help with the spaceship, John.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but still, it's just the.
Or they could have escaped on the spaceship. So, that's the point to choose which way we're going to go.
This is the way.
Also, they need to fill in 4 episodes.
Yeah, they need to. We need to make this up to a 10-episode series. Djarin and Grogu break into the twins' palace and fight their way through droid security. Well, they sort of skip a bit there. But they use the ship to, bomb into the castle or whatever we're calling it. And fight their way through the droid security before being intercepted by Embo. Before that, they do have a kind of cool fight against 2 massive mech creations that they hinted at the start of the film when they show Mando looking at them and being like, oh, they make sure to show you looking at him and give a shot to be like, oh, well, these crazy security droids. So then when we get to hear, it's like, this is what
Chekhov's droids.
Yeah, literally Chekhov's droids. Yeah. Intercepted by Embo. Djarin duels Embo while Grogu frees Rodder, who engages the twins in the fight, eventually dropping himself, them, and Embo into the Dragon Snake pit. Grogu saves Rodder with the Force, while Embo escapes through a tunnel, leaving the twins to be eaten alive by the Dragon Snake. The Anzellans return, bringing Ward and a New Republic squadron with them to destroy the twins' private droid army.
All the Mandalorian directors there.
Yep. Was it all?
Well, a lot of them. Because they're in that one scene, remember?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not all. It would be a fair...
It's
a fair chunk of them, but... I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard definitely isn't there, so...
No, okay, that's fair. Dave Filoni. I saw Deborah Chow credited. And... who was the other director from the first season? There. Rick Famuyiwa.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, yeah. And I mean, also, Old Mate is there as well. The most seen...
Yes.
What's his name? I can't remember. From that TV show.
TV show.
Whatever it's called, I haven't watched it, but that's what he's most prominently from. But he's
I know what you mean.
The most prominent seen New Republic fighter pilot that we see in the TV show is there as well. Whatever that character's name is. Afterwards, Ward reveals that Jonny and the twins were working together. Rodder chooses to stay and work with the New Republic while Djarin and Grogu leave in the Razor Crest, which Djarin is now going to teach Grogu how to fly. Yep. Anything I missed? Any thought thoughts? I don't know.
Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee.
There we go. Yep.
There we go. That was important. Yeah, I mean, I guess where do we go from here? I guess is the interesting question. Like, assuming this is going to be successful, I feel like it's probably going to do reasonably well. Is this what we're going to do with the Mandalorian from here on out? More adventures like this? Is it all leading up to the crossover event with Ahsoka? The post Empire.
Literally nothing in here to hint at any build towards anything of such.
Other than he's working with the New Empire more. New Republic more, I guess. He's more closely tied with the New Republic at the end of this than he was at the start. That is the only thing you could possibly pull from this.
I guess.
It's a clue to the future, you know?
I'm trying to look. Apparently... No. Yeah, okay. Apparently, I didn't realize this. So apparently, Coyne was actually seen in his first appearance was in The Mandalorian, Chapter 23, The Spies, where he appears as a hologram. There you go.
Wow, plan ahead.
Seeds planted, you know.
That's crazy that it was there because the Empire didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the New Republic, yeah.
Overall, yeah, I don't think it's particularly good. It's fine. Like it's perfect. It's just I do think it's worse than Rise of Skywalker. It's so, but however, it's sort of more boring in that it's just more inoffensive in such an annoying way. Like it's so inoffensive because it just tries to do nothing.
But also, I feel like that's going to be appealing to a large number of people.
Possibly,
like,
yes.
There's no politics in this one. We can finally watch.
Finally, Star Wars isn't woke anymore.
Yeah.
Get all the minorities out of here.
Yeah. I loved it. There was no women.
No, there's Sigourney Weaver. We've fucked it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I enjoyed the Grogu was cute at times. I laughed. I had a few chuckles at that sort of stuff. But in general, I just felt like I was I was just watching it, and I was getting nothing. Is how I would describe it. I was just watching it and feeling nothing. And then Grogu would do something cute, and I'd be like, "Well, that's good. I enjoyed that." And then you know what? Not enough Grogu. There we go. For a film titled The
Based
Mandalorian
on him
and
getting
Grogu,
now top billing as well,
yeah,
he should have been a larger
part of it.
a part of it. Sure, he has that one large segment where he's taking care of Jin,
So small,
but
in the scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, more Jin than more Mando than Grogu.
Yeah. And Mando, again,
so
absolutely
Grogu in your next contract, you need to start.
I think so.
Need one of those like Fast and Furious like contracts where you need equal screen time. You can't lose fights, all that kind of stuff.
The Rock contract
in Apple Box, you know.
Yeah. I think. Whatever. Okay, I'm over it. That's.
No.
I just think I keep thinking about how boring Pedro Pascal Mando is and does nothing in this film. Just such a nothing character now. Like he has no storyline. Like no fight, no goal, no. Like I don't know. It's just so boring.
He's a bounty hunter collecting a bounty, Dylan. That's what we want. That's what the people always wanted, right? Oh, no, we want the Boba Fett story. He just goes around and gets bounties. Turns out we're wrong. Or it works on television. Maybe,
Actually, you know what else? I'm going to say it again. I know I've said this many times, but the CGI was so bad. But it looks even worse anytime Grogu's around because Grogu's got the puppetry element. And like he generally looks good because he's mostly a puppet with some CGI stuff when he's flipping or whatever. But because he is a puppet and whenever there's old CGI characters like fighting, it's like the scene with Mando, Zeb, and Grogu walking along, and Zeb just looks so not right.
I don't think most people are going to have a problem with that, to be perfectly honest.
I know.
Did you see the footage of Grogu without a shirt?
No. Do I want to see that?
Robotic underneath.
I don't need to see that. Don't ruin him for me. You know. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Holocron Entries discussing The Mandalorian and Grogu. I believe the next thing on this podcast feed won't be until
next year. I don't think.
Ahsoka
got pushed. And unless they surprise us with some animated stuff.
The what?
Unless they surprise us with animated
I'm finishing the podcast. You keep cutting out. Thank you for listening. You can get our thoughts on other things by heading to explosionnetwork.com. Explosionnetwork.com/podcast takes to all our other podcasts over there. And until the next one, you can let us know what you thought of the film if you'd like at explosionnetwork.com/socials, where all social media is. May the force be with you. Goodbye.
This is the way.